several decades, in the United States alone, by 2050, the population is projected to increase another 68 million people, 21%, reaching almost 400 million. This will necessitate massive new construction in cities and the areas immediately surrounding them of buildings, landscapes, infrastructure, and urban areas. Think of increasing the built environment of the urban area of New York City by 20%. That would house 5 million more people. Then expand the urban area of Los Angeles to accommodate another 4 million people, of Washington, D.C. to house an additional 2 million people, of Austin, another 400,000 on top of its 2 million people today, and so on, for every city in the United States. Consider all the construction needed in each of these cities to provide homes, office buildings, commercial areas, parks, and squares for that many more people. Housing them alone will require, in aggregate, perhaps 1 billion square feet of new construction. This, combined with an ever-changing economic landscape that draws people towards some cities and away from others, and which renders some kinds of buildings defunct and necessitates the reinvention of others, means that the United States will need many more, and many different kinds of, buildings and landscapes than the ones built by our parents and grandparents and forefathers and mothers. By 2030, as many as half the buildings that Americans will inhabit will have been built since 2006. Every third, perhaps every second building you encounter will be new. The construction campaign of the coming decades will be even more extensive outside the United States, so much so that it will make Americans' upcoming building needs look like a rounding error. Around the globe, a little more than half the world's population today resides in urban areas. Within less than 2 generations, urban growth in Asia, Africa, and Latin America will be so explosive that, by 2050, 2 out of every 3 people on the planet will be living in an urban area. That means 2.4 billion more people will need buildings in which to live, work, and be educated, as well as infrastructure through which to move and landscapes in which to find refuge. All this is beyond staggering. Today, 428 cities around the globe each house populations of between 1 and 5 million people. In the next 15 years, that figure will increase to about 550 cities. There are currently 44 cities with a population of between 5 and 10 million people. In 15 years, there will be 63. And the number of megalopolises, the gargantuan cities of more than 10 million people, are expected to increase from 29 today to 41, also more than a 40% hike. Not only will urban populations grow at an unprecedented and breathtaking pace, the most complex urban areas, the large cities and the megacities, will be at the forefront of the growth. The human migrations to metropolitan regions and the construction campaigns that accompany all this are especially fervid in developing countries, notably in India and China, where by 2050 the number of urban dwellers is expected to increase by 300 million to total more than 1 billion people. If China were building one entirely new city each year to house this population growth, it would construct a city the size of New York City every single year for 35 years. In fact, in anticipation of this growth, China already has started and finished totally new, enormous cities in places where none had been before. To accommodate the vast migration of rural residents who will relocate to urban areas between now and 2030, China will eventually have 125 cities with a population of more than 1 million people.